somebody who would be
Snubs to the Rockets, for the love of the chopsticks. Ran up from the plug and I pop shit. Faced with immeasurable odds. Some of you niggas found pleasure in God. Measuring rod, they treasure their jobs. Let it build, moving with purpose. Tapped in the magnetic fields, moving with serpents. Took my brokers a stroker. Al Roker couldn't predict the storms that follow, the porn that follow. Same a tree that formed for Rollo. We made it rain and we burnt money. Bentley truck, interior burnt honey. Anyway, I take respect over riches any day. I take neck from your riches any day. Anyway, that's a neck full of riches any street. Shifting through paradigms, the color of Geechee Dan. Drifting through the Carolines, color in the Geechee land. Time will tell. We move around the 33rd parallels, like Coney Island carousels. Fell asleep at Roswell, woke up in Cozumel. Pyramid hopping, chariot shopping. Number one seller, author of conscious fiction. Composition, confidence dripping. Continent drifting, a walking contradiction with a contra addiction. Brooms and mops, Mr. Clean, we conquer the kitchen. Facts and fiction, contrary to popular predictions. Red pill, popping your prescription, stopping your addictions. Yeah, bitch, I'm with the hoes. Black magic, yeah, bitch, I'm with the souls. Anything goes, cooking in Brooklyn, cocaine to push. New strains of the kush, we call that Hussein in the bush. We from distant lands, our DNA, different strands, different strains. Same planet, but different planes. Citizen Kane, Rosebud, they wanna get us in chains. Rosewood, the safety, stay off position, chaos position. Never took the day off the kitchens, way off the pitchings. These bitches out here fighting for fashion over crashing rovers, gassing over 3 times, 3 crimes. Versace from your heyday, on layaway like the Kashi and Treyway. Hopping with the AK, the war is on double consciousness. The devil's competence and accomplishments. When rhetoric turns into reason, then predicates turn into heathens. And the wolves in Connecticut is seasoned. Soon after disease will follow. I'm the same nigga that the D's would follow. Marlowe, my fam doing moving trees like Rollo. Before they seize the Gallardo. Went from Pablo, hopping out Diablos. Designer robes, dark side of the moon like the China pros. Believe it or not, my mind is all Wrigley's. Believe it or not, my mind on the big leagues. Ice Cube with the big three. Vine in the fig tree. Man on the big B's. Moving back in time like the Frisbees.
Whew. Yo, I catch something new every time I hear that thing. Like they say down south, that thing is slapping. I'm talking about Bill Bixby, all streaming services. Make sure y'all go. Make sure y'all go and check that out. Uh, that's Flames right there. That's Flames. That's John Blaze. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Let's do a roll call before we even get into it. Yeah, that's on streaming networks. The minute you could go and pull that up on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. Yeah, I'm on all of the streaming networks. Bill Bixby. You know what I'm talking about? Bixby. Red Pill. Red Pillar. Pillar. Make sure you put Red Pillar when you look for me on the streaming services. I'm not Red Pill. I'm Red Pillar. In the musician form, I'm Red Pillar. I'm Red Pill doing the lectures, building, YouTube, that's Red Pill. But Red Pillar on the music side, that's who I am. There's a distinction, so I'm just making that. Oh, North Carolina's in the building, as always. drifting through the Carolines, Gullah and the Geechee lands. New Orleans is in the building. Hartford, Connecticut. The Wolves, what I said, the Wolves from Connecticut is seasoned. Shout out to the Bronx, Houston, South Carolina in the building. Drifting through the Carolines. Australia's in the building. Tennessee is in the building. Milwaukee is in the building. OKC is in the building. New Orleans is in the building. Salute. The mud, the boot. Houston, we coming to y'all June 9th, Sunday, June 9th. Professor Griff, Red Pill, Blue Pill, Shape Center, Sunday, June 9th. Houston. Yes. Queensbridge. You already know what it is. Part of, yes, Kings County. If anybody knows, the original Kings County is Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island as one whole borough. And it was actually called Kings County. That's a Snapple fact. That's factory. That's facsimile. That's fax dominoes. You know what I'm talking about? That's fax gorilla. Frederick, Maryland in the building. Salute. Snapple factorized. Austin, Texas. Kansas City in the building. Yeah, North Cac in the building. What's that? Thank you for purchasing Bill Bixby on iTunes. Salute for that. KC is in the building. Vegas is in the building. You know, West Phoenix is in the building. Miami is in the building. Money is a major issue. Remember that? Money is a major issue. Miami. That was the Pitbull era. I was out there for that. I was out here for that. Right? Yeah. Dallas in the building. Philly is in the building. Philly, we're coming to Black and Nobel. Okay. Real Don Swag. Good looking for the Cash App. All right. Hartford is in the building. The Caribbean is in the building. Savannah, Georgia is in the building. Cincinnati's in the building. Okay. Peace to Cincinnati. Okay, you copping the online lecture, American Gods? I appreciate that. I need everybody to be able to cop by tonight, the end of tonight. All of us are gonna be ready to cop the online lecture that I'll be doing June 2nd. No domicile. You don't gotta worry about no location. It's on the internet. So everybody could watch. It's an online presentation, American Gods. That is coming June 2nd. That's a Sunday. That's coming June 2nd. And then right after that, the next weekend, we are coming with Fear of a Black Planet 2, the media manipulation or melanated minds with Professor Griff in Houston, Texas. Houston, we got a problem. That's going to be a powerful weekend. That's the same weekend of Night of Main Events with URL, Loaded Lux versus Vegan Verb in Houston. All right. Shout out to Pop Darby. Shout out to all of the family that's out there. Oh, American God topics. We're going to talk about that tonight. All right. We're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to get into that tonight. Because, you know, it's in close proximity. So it's time to begin the promotion campaign. So that's what we're going to get into tonight. We're going to talk about these American gods. Okay. We're going to just scratch the surface, though. But, welcome everybody in the building. First and foremost, I want to say love and light to everybody in the building. Before I even start the show, I want to say love and light and condolences to my sister Empress B44. Okay, now I'm gonna get Empress B's Cash App and we're gonna put it in the chat room because there was a loss of a family member with Empress B444 and her immediate family. So we are going to send her love and light. We're going to send her energy, okay? Because you know how she does every single night in this chat room. You know that she is consistency, you know, personified. So if I'll have her Cash App available for you, and I want the family to be able to send your condolences in the form of, you know, currency or fiat. Okay. So, you know, shout out to her, like I said in previous shows. And then I have to also say to my brother Fat Mike, right? I didn't call him Fat Mike, but that's what they say. That's what they call the brother. He's a fellow vendor. Okay, money sign, Empress B, number 444. Just like the Jay-Z album, 444. Thank you, Casey, at the Compass Circle. Money sign, Empress, EMPRESS, the letter B, and the number 444. Family, y'all already know that she is an angel, okay? And you know, we're gonna make her know that she's loved and know that she's appreciated. And when tragedy strikes, that there's a family and a community that's there for you. So shout out to that sister. And also shout out to the family of a brother, an older man, who on Sundays, when me and Blue Pill used to set up, this was around the time when Michael Jackson made transition, and this is around the time when Obama was becoming president. There was like a lot of money in Harlem, so we used to set up on Sundays by the Apollo, and there was a older dude, and he had his son with him, and his son's name was Mike, and they used to sell, you know, comic book shirts, comic book T-shirts. Well, to make a long story short, the brother's his son Mike, who used to be on 125th Street selling T-shirts with like Black Panther, all Marvel stuff. That brother also had a bout of a pneumonia. Okay, and I've spoken on the show before about the winter time and the dangers of being outside in the winter time, even though that you got to feed your family. Like, you know, when you're a vendor or when you have your own business and a small business, you eat what you kill. You eat what you kill. So it's not like money is just falling out of the sky. If you got to feed your family, if you got to pay your bills, you got to be out there interacting with customers. So people sometimes, you know, we in the streets in the dead of the winter, you know, trapping, just set up, getting it in. And I went on 125th Street yesterday, and I received that unfortunate news that the brother made transition, you know, and it really hit me hard because I just was building with the brother. He was talking about, you know, losing weight and stuff like that, and he was very excited, you feel me, about what life has to offer, you know. So I've spoke about it in previous episodes about this retrograde, this Pluto retrograde, the Saturn retrograde, the fact that the gates are definitely open, to be very aware and very on point and very studious during these times, because these are not times to be caught slipping in no way. You feel me? You know, so I just wanted to start out, you know, sending love and light because it's only right. You feel me? It's only right. You know. But what's good with the family? How's everybody doing? You know. Shout out to everybody that's on the live tonight. Yeah. We in New York City, reporting live from NY. Yeah, happy to be here as well. Grateful, right? We the best. Look, highly blessed, highly favored. Like earlier this week, right? I'm on 125th Street, just passing through. Something tells me instead of going right, and instead of going and making a left to go home, I say, yo, let's make a right. And I take a right, right? And when I take a right, I drive past the Apollo. This is not the day that I found out about Fat Mike and his untimely demise. This is the day before when I found out about Fat Khaled and his timely come up. So I see a lot of commotion. I'm like, what's going on? We pull over. I hop out. I go across the street. I'm like, yo, what's going on? They like, DJ Khaled is in here and he's doing a Crown interview with Elliot Wilson. So I was like, all right. I said, I don't got my press pass with me, but the people at the Apollo, they know me because we've been putting in work either in front of the Apollo or directly across the street from the Apollo more than 10 years. So they've seen the wave, you know, they firsthand witnesses. So he was like, here, take these VIP passes. I'm not gonna be able to get you into the press right now because it's on, you know, it's already shut down. But here, take these VIP passes. You and your guests, y'all go in there and go check it out. Boom. So I'm going in there. Boom. We go right into the Apollo, right? The whole stadium is packed, right? The whole Apollo thing is already jam packed. People are already in there anticipating. Then the documentary comes on, right? So this is why this thing, we're gonna have this conversation about American gods, right? To show you what's really going on and what the state of hip hop has produced in the 400 years of us being here. So this is the album that Nipsey is on, right? This is the album that dropped on midnight last Friday. I remember waiting for it to drop because I was very eager to hear the track and watch the video. So this is Father of Assad, right? This is a Palestinian, right? This is a Palestinian. Even though people have their things about Palestinians, Palestinians are what they, according to the Bible and according to other things, the original, you know, the source of life, the cradle of civilization, right? So we know that that's an Arab or whatever. Okay, but it's DJ Khaled. You know, he's a DJ. You niggas know DJ Calvin? Hmm? Do you know? Do you know DJ Battle Cat? Do you know? What's the guys that wear the mask? Dast something? Talk black to me. Do you know those guys? Do you know DJ Mouse? Do you know DJ Japan? Do you know DJ Israel? So, you know, Danger Mouse, exactly. There's a lot of DJs out there getting a lot of bags, okay? Cutting a lot of checks, doing numbers that has been unforetold before. Daft Punk, okay? You know about Daft Punk? Did you ever see their face to know where they're from? Because a lot of people will be like, oh, he's Palestinian. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is just allow, you know what I mean? Trust the process. He's a visitor in the culture, granted, but he's figured out a cheat code and he's used his cheat code to his benefit and to other people's benefit. And it seems other people's benefits. So the documentary begins. I'm blown away, right? Because of the fact that, you know, it's nothing, it's not even like it's something monumental. It's just the feeling, it's just that when projects have stories behind them, they become more interesting, right? And not only when projects have stories behind them, when those stories, you know, have cultural significance, you know, like seeing Nipsey in seeing Nip in the studio, like seeing Meek in the studio. You know what I'm talking about? Like seeing a lot of these artists in these studios, or just in the process of making music, or making art, or making what might turn out to be a hit or whatever. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I'm as an artist, you got to understand, as an artist, I'm appreciating, and also coming from, sitting down with Nick Cannon and doing the Sabi documentary, shooting for that. I'm seeing the importance of the documentation. I'm seeing the importance of telling the story. I'm seeing the importance of being able to catalog and tell your motherfucking story in a real way and on a big stage. That's important. If you don't know that, you know what I mean? If nobody ever told you that, they like, where's the vest? Okay, the vest is sold out. All of the vests are sold out. Let's just be clear. Let's start with that. If you go on my website right now, which is kingscounty.bigcartel.com, you're gonna see the after that took effect. The after took effect so crazy that I can't even show y'all a sample right now because they're all gone. Okay? But go on the website and you'll go and see what I did. I bodied that on black. All right? We might be able to make something magic happen, but those are gone. I told you a limited edition, but we have another batch coming tomorrow, as soon as tomorrow, so no worries. But those are out of here. Those are out of here. Go onto the Instagram and go and check out the video of the vest. That's what that when I had the vest on and they let me in, they saw the vest, they was like, get this nigga a VIP pass. Like he needs to be in the Apollo with We the Best. You know what I'm talking about? This guy with the vest, let him in for We the Best. So we went into we went in there, I didn't stick around for the interview with Crown and whatnot. But I'm sitting there and I'm watching the audience, right? And I'm seeing, because the power about DJ Khaled is it's not about DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled has the cheat code. So DJ Khaled understands that the people, the network, his network is his net worth. DJ Khaled understands that the people around him are basically the talent that's around him. It makes him who he is. He's a DJ. Okay? He's a DJ first and foremost, because people will be like, he don't have any skills. He's just a culture vulture. No, that nigga's a DJ. I was in Miami when he's really a DJ, when he used to just DJ at the radio station. And he does sound clashes. And he knows the concept of dub plates. So understanding the concept of the dub plates, look at the braids. You see the braids? Look at the braids. Yeah, I had to go a little cornrow on them. So the concept of the dub plates, he understands that you get with certain artists and you have them personalize the music or drops for you. You understand? And understanding reggae and dancehall culture, you know that if you when you do that in hip hop, that's a win. So he started doing stuff like that. Then he started, look, this is his formula. He's buying beats from other producers. He has a name called DJ Khaled. He has a brand. He don't even got to really make the beats. He got beat making teams. And then he has relationships with artists. And this is the three formula that he uses. I don't like to put people's formula out there, but it's not a secret. He caters to the dance hall Jamaican crowd because he understands that that's a whole big demographics and they love to party. He caters to the Spanish, Dominican, Cuban, salsa, merengue, Latin trap by way of his relationship with Fat Joe, okay, who opened up the doors for him. He understands that that's a humongous party crowd, big money, always gonna be booked to do shows. And then he feeds them niggas from Dade County with the grills and the motherfucking dreads from Overtown and whatnot. The trunk music, the bass. You know what I'm talking about? The dope boy music, the street music. That's who he knows. That's who he feeds. He uses that formula on all of those projects, and he always wins. And then he understands the power of the anthem. He understands that hip hop is a motivational, mantra enhancing module, because it could be utilized as a module to make these things do what they do. Okay? So you could listen to trap rap and don't have to be trapping. And you could you know what I mean? You could be selling goddamn soap and it feel like you selling cocaine. You know, and you could tap into that whole feeling and don't have to indulge in no illegal activities. It's transferable. So DJ Khaled, as a DJ, he's doing what no other DJ is doing in hip hop right now, particularly. He's putting together, even though this project, I didn't listen to the whole project, but I wouldn't say that this is his magnus opus. I'm not going on record or anything. I'm not even here doing a review of the man's album. I'm just giving you a highlight of my week and shit that I stumbled upon. But as I'm sitting there and I'm viewing the audience and I'm seeing how captivated they are by hip hop artists in particular, right? Meek Mills, Little Baby, um, Jay-Z, you know, these are the people that were on the screen, and when they came on, the audience was just going bonkers because it was a lot of other people that they were showing, but these are people that people they gravitate towards, they gravitate towards, and when I think about it, when I really sit back and I say to myself, what other documentary could I be sitting in a place, and certain characters come on the screen and they receive this kind of response of pure adulation and enthusiasm and euphoria, you know what I mean? And just an energy where at the Country Music Awards, talk black to me. Where we gonna be at? At a political convention, they're not popping like that. Where? At a basketball game? You only popping as much as the game you just won. Where at? You know, where hip hop to me right now, and this is not to say or not to put on record and to put hip hop above black intelligentsia or the black gods and the goddesses. I'm saying in the culture, in the aspects of in the view of the culture, from a cultural perspective, you know, the hip hop artist, affectionately known as the rap star, is an American god in 2019. And there are other American gods. If you watch the TV show American Gods, you could conceptualize the concept of multiple gods existing in the fabrics of society in what is called America. But there's a hip hop artist, there's an artist, there's a prototype of the hip hop artist that is an immortal. Okay? They have the power, they have the messianic power to control the minds of millions of people. They influence them beyond any genre of music influences their demographics or their target audience. That's a fact. And the reach, there's no as long as far as sound reaches, that's as far as their influence reaches. That's as far as the influence of our culture. And I'm explaining that our culture is a sweet pack. You know how they have creative sweets? It's the package of, it's a suite, like a SUITE. It's not just rapping. It's not just flowing. It ain't just 16 bars. It's culture. It's a whole bunch of add-ons. It's a whole bunch of plugins. You understand? It's a whole bunch of plugins. It's a whole bunch of updates and add-ons and things of that nature that come with that one program that you're buying called hip hop. The shit has mad drop-down menus. And each one of those menus is a bag, if that's what it's about. It's an experience, if that's what it's about. It's waiting for your participation, if that's what it's about. You define what it's about, and then you go out and you do it, or you go out and you get it, or you go out and you make it happen. It's as simple as that. It's like turning on Grand Theft Auto, my nigga. You hop in a Lambo and then you press the gas down and you get to going. We don't have to hold you. You know what I mean? Like nobody has to tell you how to make this thing happen. You know. But if you analyze, and I'm gonna I don't want to jump all over the place, you know, because tonight's show we're gonna mix in between current events or things that are going on, and we're gonna be doing a promo for this American God live stream. This American God live stream that's coming up June the 2nd, there's going to be a presentation. I'm not necessarily going to say that it's going to be me sitting in a room talking to people on live stream. It's going to be a presentation, okay? It's going to be powerful. It's going to be insightful. It's going to be visual. It's going to be private information versus what you receive in public forums such as this, okay? Harriet Tubman, that dub, they said the dub ain't on the way. Well, goddamn it, we're gonna have to come up with the Tubman coin or something. You know, I'm not waiting for 2028 for Harriet to be on the 20. Okay, we have to make something. We gotta make some provisions. We're gonna have to make some provisions. You know, they playing a lot of games with y'all. Y'all niggas almost had you some Tubmans. I'm talking about Tubcoin, the new Bitcoin. That's right. Talk black to me. You can pull it up like talk black to me. Talk black. But anyway, we ain't got let's not wait for a Tubman 20 to start making Tubman moves or Underground Railroad moves. Let's start freeing these slaves, with our own coins, with our own Tubman coins. So, going back to what I was saying about the state of hip hop, because American Gods is the prelude to the 10-year anniversary to one of the very first lectures that your brother Red Pill and your brother Blue Pill ever put down on record. And that was the Blueprint 322 featuring A.A. Rashid. Was Black Dot on that bill? Brother Ampu was on that bill. Or Noble Ampu. Blue Pill, Red Pill, A.A. Rashid. And that one went down as a classic. And we're embarking on the 10-year anniversary of that classic. But the subtitle to Blueprint 322, you could still find that on YouTube. They had that. They used to sell that in the hip hop stores, and the cover of it had a diamond encrusted skull, and it said "Hip Hop Exposed," but it was Blueprint 322, right? So the premise of 322, or the subtitle of 322, was hip hop rules the world. This was in 2010. You understand? And Blue Pill introduced the law of 44 in that lecture, and we really went in and we really decoded and we really broke down some stuff. You know what I'm talking about? And that was a classic. So we're embarking on the 10-year anniversary of that lecture. We're embarking on the 10-year anniversary of No Ledge Radio. So 2020 is a very big year. And American Gods is going to be the prelude that's going to revisit, uh, It's almost like the primer before we hit y'all with the blueprint 322.2. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. Blueprint 322.2. Red pill, blue pill, AA. That's gonna be retarded. So make sure y'all tap into this American Gods. It's a live stream. Everybody can see it on their phone. It's not gonna be janky. It's gonna be clear. You understand? You'll be able to view it on your cellular, mobile, smart, super phone. You don't got to get up and go anywhere. You could roll up, pour up, whip it up. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you chant it up, whatever you need to do to, get in your vibe, I'm bringing it right to your phone. You know, you don't got to worry about nothing. But that's what that is. And we'll be examining the impact that consciousness has had on hip hop. And we'll be examining and we will be unpacking and we will be decoding the transformation that a handful of artists that we were targeting in Blueprint 322 for not just critique of their lyrics or not just critiques of the way that they were moving, but metaphysical, occult, analyzations of who these artists were, breaking them down, breaking down some of the DNA of these artists. And we're going to track and we're going to trace the the metamorphing of said artists. Okay? One of the artists in particular will be Jay-Z that we'll focus on. Okay? We'll focus on where Jay-Z was 10 years versus where Jay-Z is today. We'll examine it. Okay? We'll examine Kanye. We'll examine a few of the artists that were talked about and they were in they were in the forefront of the conversation 10 years ago. That conversation, yeah, this lecture is going to be very interesting. This lecture is also going to draw the comparisons that the TV show American God was able to introduce into the psyche of the viewership, that nowadays in this modern day culture, the concept of gods or the concept of the demigod or the concept of the deity takes on a new meaning when you realize that people are not worshiping and people are not feeding and people are not having a belief in the same gods that their foreparents, forefathers, foremothers, great 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 grandparents had. It is a different day and time. There are new gods. One of the newest gods on this earth and this planet or this plane of existence is the God called the internet and the World Wide Web. These, my friends, are gods. These are entities. They remember when asked the question about where can we find the physical location for the internet, people cannot give us the location, give us the geolocation, or give us a physical apparatus that holds and contains what you call the internet. You cannot. It's what Dr. Valentine can describe as a light code transmission. It's part of the ether. It's not. It's invisible. It's spirit. It's an intelligence. It doesn't have a home. What I'm saying is, you know, we 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 confuse these terminologies or jargon or word scientific terms and overlook certain other things when it's looking at you right in your face. So what if this is a modern day, what if the technology, what if the internet, what if the digital world, the world of the unseen, the world of manifestation where you form things out of what is known as bits, where you're working with not physical things but digital things. It's not atoms, it's bits. Not atoms, but bits. Not clicking, not brick and mortar, but clicking order. Not limitations, but the long tail. It's a whole nother conversation. This is an extension. This is the abundance. This is what people talked about, the nothing, the all. The internet is not the all. The long tail is not the all. Huh? It's not the all that you talk about. See, people don't understand that a lot of the things that were called on and asked for, and blood was shed for these things to manifest, have manifested, but in forms that you might not have read the instructions. So you're overlooking it and don't realize that it's in front of you. The divination systems are zeros and ones. Computer code is zeros and ones. Binary code is zeros and ones. That's computer language. We live in a computer dominated, computer enhanced, computer controlled and ran world. You're not, are you reinterpreting the stuff that you say that you know, which is the zeros and the ones, and are you reinterpreting it into binary code and binary language? Is that the basics in which you're teaching the young ones so they can understand that this is spiritual? This is all spiritual work. Why are they on DMT and Silicon Valley? Why are they on nootropics? Why are they on shrooms? Why are they on ayahuasca if this ain't spiritual? Like, what are you talking about? And then when they come back from the trip, they can say that they saw the aliens and the aliens gave them. Binary is being changed with quantum computers. Yeah, is that correct? Yeah, quantum computers are introducing what is known as qubits. And qubits are 00010. With the advance of the quantum computers or the quantum technology or quantum entanglement, which is going to bring forward the quantum internet, because China is putting together the quantum internet. Okay, they're going to have quantum computers operating through the quantum internet. That's why a lot of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are being hacked, because more quantum computers are coming online, and you can hack anything with a quantum computer. So you talking about qubits, and what the qubits represent is the conversation that one reality is having with another reality. It's called quantum entanglement. Okay, it's called quantum entanglement. So we gotta we don't we're not tech we don't have technophobia. We embrace the engineering and the scientific and mathematical advancements of Africa, okay, of Pangea, of Atlantis, of Mu, of ancient Kemet, of all of the places where technology and high civilization reign supreme. You know, this shit is nothing new. There's nothing new. But what's happening now is we're beginning to embrace the technology of today, and we're beginning to master it as a collective, not just single-handedly. There's collectives of us out here that are coding, breaking codes, uh, you know, um, rewriting things, hacking life, hacking, getting the cheat code. People are tapping into the cheat code. That's a fact. And like I said, somebody introduced a very interesting concept to me the other day, and it made sense, and it goes a little something like this. You got public school and you got private school, okay? In public school, they're going to be taught things that they'll never be taught in private school. In private school, they're going to be taught things that they'll never teach them in public school. You have public conversations in public school, and you have private conversations in private school, because there's a difference and there's a distinction between the two. So in places like YouTube on a live stream, that's seen as public talk. That's in public places, and we're having public conversations. But there's also another place beyond, way yonder, called private school, where we have private talks and private conversations of a higher frequency that are more important than what we have in the public. And that's the difference. And I don't know if people understand that and the people realize that. So when we do our live streams, that's private conversations. That's not for YouTube. When they say, yo, Negroes, we're looking at everything that y'all doing. There's trigger words. If you say the a certain word like Candyman, you'll get your live cut in certain situations. So, like I said, facts2020.org, not com. We already did conscious community. Community is com. It's CON. That's the .com. We did community building for 10 years. Now all we trying to do, now we saying we building the building. Why don't y'all come in? That's .org. So we're organizing. It's organization time. He who organize in these days and times are gonna be the ones in front of the shrines. I just made that up. But anyway, it's about organization at this point. And I don't want to try to convince anybody of what is, what's already known. Like I don't even have the time nor the energy to try to convince a nigga of that aspect. What the hell do I look like? Like I said before, when we go to school, when we go to college, imagine if we went into a college class and sat down, and then the teacher went into the hallway and was trying to get motherfuckers to stop in the hallway to come into class, but he already got a class full of students waiting to hear he or she teach. That's what we look like trying to convince somebody about some shit that they obviously don't need to know because they're in public school and there's some private conversations that's out of your league. You know what I mean? That people are just not privy to. That's the difference. Like that's what makes shit hit differently, you know. So facts2020.org. I got the counter. We're signed up in the thousands already. We just want to reach 10,000. Once 10,000 is reached on the sign up, everything gets activated and this whole thing goes online and nothing was the same. Nothing was the same. And all you're required to do is to sign up with no money down. Just leave your email. Just be a participant. Sign up. Get down with an initiative. So, facts2020.org. But back to the American gods. So we're going to introduce, you know, the fact that there are numerous, not just one or two, numerous articles that have scientific, collegiate, like top of, like college, um, you know, college level, uh, you know, uh, investigations. They came back and said that hip hop is one of the most important cultures ever introduced in modern America since its birth. America's only a few hundred years old, and they're crowning hip hop, the culture that was started in the same place where I'm sitting right now, the Bronx, New York, in an impoverished, uncomfortable, uncompromising, unsavory, um, you know, situation. That's a fact. It wasn't all peaches and cream. It wasn't rose. You know what I mean? People wasn't making it rain out here. They was making it rain bullets. Buildings were burning. The heroin was in full effect. Poverty was etched in people's faces. You know,
The have-nots outnumbered the haves 10-1. And that's not the whole Bronx, but that was in a lot of places in the Bronx. So these sufferers, right? These sufferers who were getting music taken from them, musical instruments were being taken from them through legislation in their schools. Programs were being shut down. They were being kicked out of creative spaces. They were being kicked out of places that were conducive to their imaginations. They were being shut out of, you know, opportunity. So what did they do? They created opportunity. And what did they do? They created opportunity for millions of descendants, ADOSO, American descendants of slave owners. You know what I'm talking about? They became the beneficiaries of a culture that was started in the ashes of our people's bones in the Bronx, people who were forgotten of by the whole of America. Okay, they was just waiting for hurry up and die type shit. You feel me? They didn't care about what was going on in the Bronx in the 70s. So fast forward to sometime in the 80s with the uh, with the consolidation in the corporate takeover of hip hop by way of Def Jam, by way of Russell, Rick Rubin, and Lyre Cohen. Okay, that's when they take hip hop and they turned it into a brand. That's when they take hip hop and they turn it into a vehicle. Rick Rubin leaves Def Jam and goes to out west and forms Def America. His first artist is Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back. So now we get, that whole West Coast, um, you know, not to say that it started with Sir Mix-a-Lot, but you know what I'm talking about on the West with the West Coast with the women and stuff, what they do with that energy out there. Uh, then we see the rise of the gangs on with Easy E, NWA, you know what I mean? All of the gang culture, the music that's pushing the gang culture. And that's Jimmy Iovine and them, right? That's the Italian out there with Interscope working with Universal. Universal, this is Universal. This is a major billion-dollar corporation. These corporations are playing Game of Thrones with different uh, gangs and what I'm saying, brothers and sisters in the hood who are selling, they out here selling the game. They like, oh, line these niggas up. This shit is interesting. This is like, remember Clash of the Titans when they had the people in the war room and they was they just had the people like chess pieces. You understand? You think that Seagrams and Universal and Sony didn't know what was going on? Yeah, Too Short, Tim Dog, Uncle Luke, Ruthless Records. You feel me? Pay attention to the labels that were coming out in the early days. Don't pay attention to who popped up once niggas started selling 10 million albums and everything was going platinum. You don't focus on that part of the movie. You focus on the beginning part. You focus on pioneers. You focus on who was there in the beginning, not the shit that came afterwards. That's called residue. That's the shit that ride. Who was there in the beginning? Source material, source references. That's what we look for. You know? So you had Sir Mix-a-Lot in them. You had Too Short. You know what I'm talking about? You had Luke and them on in Miami. These are, remember, Miami is base. Miami is the bottom of the map. Miami is if the earth had a chakra, Miami is the red chakra. Okay? Miami is the root chakra. You know what I mean? It's Young Jeezy from the bottom of the map. Play that instrumental. Bottom of the map. You know, it's the bottom of the map. So the red chakra is in the south. The red chakra, I'm red pill. So I understand red chakral energy. So the sacral red chakral energy is more powerful in Georgia and in Florida. The closest that you get to that to that red root chakra. You know what I'm talking about? It gets more stronger. All you know, what do we know about Florida? You know what I'm saying? Besides oranges, we know that energy that emanates from that region in the music, it resonates. If we're going to talk about frequencies with the 44 hertz and all of that, it resonates with bass, lower bass, in the trunk, in the bottom of the bass energy. What is bass energy? Shit, let me tell you. Cover the children's ears at this point. Okay? Bass energy, right? Lower, yeah, speaker box, lower frequency energy. Bass could be basement, right? Bass could be bass metal, right? Bass could be basic bitch, right? Basic shit. Just bass. Bass, and not to take anything away from bass music. I'm not trying to come after people, the bass music all stars, right? But those places, the bottom, the dirty south, the dirty, the land of flower, right? The land of flowers, Florida. The music speaks about sex. It gets into sex. It gets into drugs. Then it gets into murder. It's sex, money, murder. Especially the further to the base that you get. Niggas in Boston is on sex, money, murder, right? Even in New York, they on it like that. Yeah, shout out to Panic. This a Panic pack. Okay? Shout out to Panic for the Panic pack. Even in New York, you know, they about that sex, money, murder. They put it in. But the further that you get to the base, to the chakra, to that red chakra, to that base, to the bottom of the map, that energy, what is known as the sacral energy, the red chakra energy, the that Pluto energy, that Mars energy, that's the lifestyle out there. Nigga, I don't care who you are, white, black, Spanish, whatever. Like, that's life. It's resonating stronger. It's resonating more dominantly. Yeah, it exists in other places. Yeah, your borough and your hood is hot. I get it. I'm not here to compare bodies and stuff. I don't want to, I don't want to get into that kind of chest bumping thing. All I'm saying is, in Georgia, it's strong, right? I remember when I first got to Atlanta and I felt that energy. This was post Freaknik. This is in 1996, I believe, or 97. This is when Goody Mob and Outkast and all of them was still running things. They had shit on lock. You understand? This was that era. but I felt the energy, you know what I mean, in the South, and I loved it, because it just, it was a real red energy. And then when I went to Miami and uh, when I went to Florida, but Miami in particular, oh my goodness, I felt like that was my home right there. Like my DNA responded to that. It started shifting. So I resonate in the I'm that's where I'm from. Yeah, AT aliens. Yeah, I'm a KT alien because of the impact of what the AT aliens had on my life, the culture shock. Because remember, I'm coming from mixtape New York. I'm coming from tunnel era. I'm coming from Biggie Bad Boy, you know what I mean? Reggae clubs type shit. I go to Atlanta and we still pushing the New York shit. We still repping NY, Jay-Z, DMX, da 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 da, mixtapes. But I'm exposed to that whole Outcast, ATL, and organized Dungeon Family type shit. I go and see them at the Tabernacle. I go and see the Goody Mob and Outcast and Erica Badu at the Tabernacle. It changed my life. Jason Orr threw the party. Shout out to Jason Orr with his ongoing party, which was legendary. I believe it was called a Fat Black Pussycat. Bro, I saw this is in the 90s. I'm seeing people who are considered today, I guess, conscious. I didn't see that in New York before. I've been to lectures and festivals, but I wasn't in a kind of party environment that you saw in Atlanta that night. And I got to see Erica Badu live, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, talk black to me. Yeah, that meant something. This is the 90s we talking about, you know. And it's been on ever since. Do I drink liquid gold? Yeah, of course. It's been on ever since, you know. Then I saw her at another event in 2003 called Black August in Brooklyn. It was so lit. I woke Mama Pill up and put her in a cab all the way from Harlem so she could witness that. And that was another thing. I was there and I saw young people having fun, looking conscious, you know what I mean? Looking healthy, but listening to hip hop. And in my mind's eye, I was like, yo, the world would be a better place if this shit was the order of the day. And today, in 2019, what I'm saying is that's the order of the day. That's where it's there now. The world that I was envisioning all the way back in '03, this is the world that I live in right now. Your favorite rapper is on the wave. That's a fact. That's a factory, a factoid, facsimile, you know what I mean? Facts domino. Your favorite rapper's rapper is on the wave. That is a fact. That's a Thanos snap. Niggas is on the wave. You could play with it if you want. I'm going to give you the receipts and show you everything that we forecasted is the world that we're living in. So what do a conspiracy theory? No, we're going to present the facts. We're going to present the facts. The impact of consciousness and what it created in a Nipsey Hussle. We're going to show you the facts. He didn't wake up like that. He was on a hunt. And I'm not saying that it was because he was exposed to consciousness only. Consciousness is a ways and a means. It's a divine spark. It's the red pill. The white boys call it red pilling. And over here, we call it know the ledge. They just ran and remixed it. But it's taking the red pill. It's basically unplugging from the matrix. And the minute you're unplugged, life is never the same again. You can't go back to being plugged in. You can't turn around and say, oh, no, I was just playing. Nigga, the bridge already got burnt. What, you gonna swim back to the island in which you jumped off from? It don't work like that. You burnt the ship, nigga. You came over here and burnt the ship. The same thing that we did when we went up in Spain with in 7-Eleven with General Tariq, and we burnt the ships, and then we ran down and took over the kingdom from Roderick, from King Roderick, the Ostrogoth, the Visigoth king. Visigoth would be in Game of Thrones. The Visigoths would probably be the Wildlings. You know what I mean? The Visigoths would be like the Wildlings. You know, they were barbaric. They were barbarians, savages. You know, when you see people who are into gothic stuff these days, all they're doing is reviving the way that you're reviving Moorish culture with fezzes. They're, yeah, the Vandals, the Goths, the Vandals, the Goths, what they call, that's where they get vandalism from a group of people called the Vandals. Uh, I think they had a series on TV called Barbarians Rising, and they talked about them, you know. So the same way that you repping the Moors, they repping the Goths, the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths. That's what Gothic is. You know what I'm talking about? So you running around and you're Gothic and you don't even know what that represents or what that means. The Goths they got washed up by the Moors. They got cleaned up. You know what I'm talking about? They got ran up out and they got ran up out of their spot, out of their bando by you. So why you gonna be Gothic for? So to see, oh, Gothic people are kidnapping people and they're the ones who are at the record labels sabotaging niggas and Rick Rubin, pardon me, Rick Rubin, like he shows you that he's on his Gothic shit. You know what I mean? He's a Gothic producer, and then you're like, you don't know, people are not able to draw the comparisons. You know, look at this pillow right here. Tell me that our people is not creative, man. You gotta be able to sit up in style. Talk black to me. You know what I mean? We belong to $1 billion culture, man. We belong to $1 trillion culture. Understand me. We belong to $1 trillion culture. Everything that we want, we can actually have it because there's nobody telling you that you can't have it. You know what I'm saying? If you want this, you could go and you could go into the earth and go and get it. If you want if you want this, you could set an appointment and go digging and go into the earth and retrieve it. The same caves that you said that the white man comes out of. You know what I mean? The same cave that you said that Becky and them originated from. Well, them caves got some riches in them. You know what I'm talking about? Some of them caves got gold in them. Some of them caves got silver in them. Some of them caves got quartz in them. You know, shout out to the cave gang. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, don't stun on the cave. But literally, whatever you want to do, you could go and do it. Whatever you want to get, you could go and get it. You know, you living in the times of the American gods. So in the TV show American Gods, they show you that there's a battle between the new gods, which are represented as the world, which is the World Wide Web, the Internet Boy, which is the Internet, uh, another one called New Media, which is a Japanese girl, and she represents New Media. Then they had a white man who looked like Jabba the Hutt. He was big and fat with like different with an eye on his neck and an eye on his head, and he was the dark web or the deep web. You know what I mean? He looked like he eats souls and whatnot. You know, these are the new gods. These are what they said in the first season is what people put their faith in. You know what I'm saying? They spoke about the power of belief, something that Bruce Lipton gets into a lot when he speaks about the power of belief. Not to take away the power of faith, but to explain what the power of belief is in a reality where they explain that all is mental and you shape reality based off of what it is that you perceive. So what you believe is what you perceive. So belief is very important. Belief comes before faith. You can't get to faith before you get to believe. So yes, you nigga, somebody needs to believe in you, or you need to believe in something, or you there's some forms of belief that you have that get changed over times, and certain belief systems were completely disrupted and dismantled and destroyed when you took the red pill. You understand? It unplugged you, or it was the hard pill to swallow, or it changed up what you thought, what you thought you believe, and it's not what it is. You know what I mean? And you were like, wow, shit is not what I thought it was. Shit is not what I believed it to be. No, because what you believe is what you perceive. So here it is. You were believing that you didn't contribute anything to not only mankind, not only humanity, but history, but global history, but world history, but galactic history, but universal history. Because they're just coming up with niggas bones and all of that stuff saying, oh, these bones are not even from this planet. And they had an afro, and according to the blood type, it's a Negro. Like they're just piecemealing a cachet of truth that they're trying to hold back. But in this information age, and in this deluge of information, and the deluge of truth, which is a wave, and this wave is forming like a tidal wave, and this tidal wave is becoming so big that it can't be held or contained by a dam, and they're trying to hold back that flood. But what that flood is the truth about who we are. I'm talking about beyond a reasonable doubt, past belief, going into knowing. You understand? Because they've been holding back, they've been hiding, they've been misleading, misguiding, redirecting. You understand? Um, you know, double talking. You know what I'm saying? Codifying, and hiding the truth. But the gig is up. But the gig is up. Mainly because of the intellectual impact that has been taking place on not just a spiritual level, on a mental, intellectual level, because warfare is on multiple levels, and intellectually, based off of what was being sent out, and based off of what was being put out, and based off of what was being introduced into the timeline, into the consciousness, and into the collective consciousness of black people, melanated people, Negroes, coloreds, uh, and motherfucking, niggas, by way of the master teachers and all of their students, and then those students trolls, and then those trolls minions, and then the other little fucking critters and whatnot that are out there. All of them collectively are impacting the consciousness and the overall collective consciousness and psyche of people on this planet. That's a fact. That's a fact. When people wake up and begin to change what they perceive, because what they believe is beginning to shift, then you're going to see the shift that are taking place all around the world, where shit begins to fall. If Elijah Muhammad's prophecy is not coming true, then whose is? Elijah Muhammad prophesied that America was going to fall. And from the looks of things, Yeah, her legs look wobbly. She looked like homie that ran up on Dante Wilder. Talk black to me. You know what I'm talking about? She looking like a White Walker. You know, she looking like a White Walker. I mean, it's a million indicators to show anybody who would just sit back and utilize the art of discernment and where they're getting their information from and what they're allowing to resonate with their frequency. Then you would understand, oh, niggas ain't getting it. We're not the victims. Niggas is not in victimhood. What do they have? Law and Order Victim Squad Unit? What is that? Dum dum dum. I need that sound effect. What's the Law and Order Squad? What's the Law Victims Unit? Niggas is not in Victims Unit. You niggas is not in Victims Unit. You're actually winning. Okay? You're actually winning. You're actually doing what you're supposed to be doing. And then doing nothing at the same time. But this program is falling apart. You understand? This curse, whatever it is, whatever name we're going to give it, you know, this thing is falling apart. And in the decade that's coming up, 2020, this Jubilee year that we're in, where they said that the curse that was on Negroes, coloreds, and niggas for 400 years, they're saying that this curse is supposed to come to an end based on those out there who consider themselves, religious, because it appears in multiple religions. There's a search for a Messiah taking place on this planet right now. And we're not even indulging, or we're not entertaining, or collectively, I haven't heard us have that conversation in what is left of the conscious community. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. But we are seeing messianic forces amongst us, and people are not even having those conversations. I'm going to show and prove how Hermes Ashkadam was a messianic force and how that whole thing went down. That's American gods right there. We're going to talk about it. God is risen. God is risen. June 2nd. We're going to qualify it. And it's not just Nipsey, it's a pantheon. So don't get caught up. You know what I'm talking about? It's not just Nipsey. We have a whole pantheon. We just celebrated Biggie Small the other day. You know, if hip hop is a divination system, if hip hop is a system where a mortal can turn into an immortal, if hip hop is a system where you could become you could become part of a sacred priesthood, and you control the minds and the hearts of millions of people. You speak things into existence. You can start war. You can start wars with words, with swords. You understand? You raise the murder rate when you speak. You raise the crime rate when you speak. But you also raise the dead when you speak. But you also raise the birth rate when you speak. But you also raise the stock market. You make it fluctuate when you speak. You know what I'm talking about? They don't tell Negroes how they make this, when they talk, how the stock market go wavy. They only point out when these niggas start talking, how shit start dipping. They don't give you that cloth. But if there should be there should be a market that we have, that when we talk, it start waving. That's a fact. That's a Snapple fact. That's a factory. That's facsimile. That's fax dominoes. Shit. But I mean, like I said, fax2020.org. So we can have these conversations offline and amongst members. We have thousands of members. So there's a lot of things that need to be done this summer. I was just having this conversation the other day, real quick. I'm gonna share this with y'all. I went to a spot. I bought 100 T-shirts at $3 a pop, which was 300, right? So I bought 100 T-shirts. So when I bought 100 T-shirts, the owner of the store, who I used to come and buy 20 T-shirts from, and I used to buy a dozen T-shirts from, he started opening up to me. He took me inside of the back of the storage of the store. He never did that before, right? So he started showing me boxes of all kind of orders that he was shipping out. So in those boxes, he was shipping things out 60 dozen, right? He was shipping things out like 60 dozen. Then he showed me the bulletproof vest and whatnot, and he was shipping out 60 of them to Black Caesar from Black Ink, right? I'm not gonna put his business out there, but he was like, yeah, he just called me today and ordered 60 of them. So I was like, 60 of them. Okay, that's interesting. So I said, and then he said, this guy over here, this guy is from, he's from Baltimore, right? He said, this guy, he ordered 50 of them, right? He said, boom, I woke up, the money was there, and I'm sending them out there and whatnot. So I said to myself, wow, that's interesting, you know, because what I saw on display and what I've been saying to the family is going to be the approach. That's going to be the winning approach. It's going to be the winning formula. Why? Because I'm going to show beyond a reasonable doubt that this is the formula that's being used right now. And that formula is collective economics. Because me going to the store to buy 300, to buy 100 shirts, yeah, that's cool and everything. But what about if I go there and buy 1,000 shirts? Okay? What if the fact that I know 5 other designers and we all need shirts just in Harlem alone? I know 50 designers just online. I know 100 designers and we all do the same thing, right? So when we go individually, because we're not the suppliers of any of the goods, we haven't switched up, we haven't implemented vertical integration into that process as of yet. Okay, as far as I know, in my niche or in my market, we're not there, right? So we're not the supplier, we're not the suppliers. So when we go to the suppliers, the thing that you want to do is stand out to the suppliers, and you want to show to the suppliers that, nigga, you got it. Because guess who you're going up against? You're going up against the Africans, you're going up against the Arabs, you're going up against the Indians, and you're going up against other people from other places that you probably can't even pronounce. You understand? Turkish Takistan, you all of that stand, the whole stand thing. And how do they come? They come with 10 vendors putting all of their money in a suitcase and giving it to one Indian. You don't need all of India in there. It's enough niggas in India already. They'll just send one person with the suitcase. You don't need a lot of Arabs pulling up. You know what I'm talking about? On their Arab shit. You know what I'm saying? With the oil money. No, they just send one Arab. And he's the point. He's that guy. He's the money guy. He's a fucking genie when he pulls up. They rub on his belly and he grants wishes. He's standing there with 10 racks. He becomes the negotiator. He's the negotiator. And you get to floss. This shit is it's like it's a revolving chair. So every week somebody gets to be the big guy and go down there with all of the racks. But you get to fill up trunks It looks better, okay? Aesthetically, the shit looks more important than you penny pinching buying 10 fucking t-shirts all the time. Now, if you're coming out of there with 200 t-shirts, everybody who put their money in the pot is going to magically, automatically, this is how the pimp God Sherrod, this is how he feeds you niggas. Your money's gonna double in about 2 or 3 days. Because inventory abundance brings more. I'm giving you cheat codes. Like I said, I'm having private conversations in public spaces. And in layman's terms, it's called pitch and pearls sometimes. But we gotta be serious. Because what I'm not gonna do is, you know, I'm not playing that game. Nigga, you gotta show up to the gym to even touch the ball. You know what I'm talking about? That's how we playing this thing. You gotta show up to the gym just to get on the floor with us. So come to the gym, bro. This ain't the gym, my nigga. I'm in the parking lot with you niggas right now. We talking in the parking lot. We're in the stadium. You know what I mean? Love and light, peace and love. Let's get it. Heart energy. Heart emojis. We all good. We Gucci. We Geechee, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? We build Bixby on the highway on our way. Don't make me, you don't like to see me when I'm mad. Don't make us turn green. You know what I'm talking about? We green like zucchini, though. You know, hopping out a genie with a genie, though. Wait, hold on. Shout out to Father Rich, Kambada. That album that they have coming is going to change the world. It's coming in July. Kambada is a monster. Is a monster. That's all I gotta say. But if you don't realize that your culture, they're gonna speak about your teachers. They're gonna speak about shit that you took for granted. They're gonna be speaking about things that you were doing as if they were doing it years to come from now. Your culture, this culture is influencing popular culture, which is influencing the population. That's a fact. That's a fact. And all I'm saying is, it's not, when I say this culture, I'm saying that black culture permeates, or the conversation or the narrative or the frequencies, they begin to permeate from the ground up. And since 2008 or 2009, all the way up to now, the frequency is getting stronger. And the people are definitely, in my humble opinion, I would have to say that they're getting stronger, because anytime that you were in what we all considered to be the zombie mode, or you were in what is known as the caterpillar phase, or you were walking in, darkness, or you were what is known as the walking dead. Translation, a white walker. Translation, the army of the dead. Translation, a zombie. Translation, fear of the walking dead. When you're vibrating at a certain frequency, you're considered dead. When you're at Candida, you're considered to be a zombie. When you're on opiates and other kind of pharmacopoeia, you could consider to be zombies. So when you were in your knuckle dragger state, my nigga, you were walking dead. You Jon Snow. But even Jon Snow got a second chance, didn't he? So then you could be reborn, and the minute you get your red pill, and the minute you unplug, and the minute you basically make that choice that you're gonna open up your eyes, then you could live again. And then you're not considered walking dead. Then you're considered to be living again. The opposite of devil is lived, or the evils, DEVIL, is lived. So you begin to live again. So now you're into consciousness and you got a purpose. Now you're into man know thyself and you find a purpose. Now you're looking at your children and your women and your parents and your family and your loved ones and just your people overall differently. Your perception of what you see is different because what you believe has changed because you have shifted your mind state and your state of mind, and now you're in another state doing better, bigger things. That's how it's working. So what you perceive is what you believe. So when you begin to see yourself in a better light, you begin to see things around you in a better light. But you're also exposed because you're going to see the destruction 10 times clearer than when you didn't, when you were in zombie mode, when you were in lower frequency mode, when you were also slothing with the sloth. You were part of the pack, so how could you see yourself? Like, how the fish can't see itself swimming with the pack. It could only watch the National Geographic like the rest of us and be like, oh shit, there I go. But nigga, that's you. When we say that we're God, we're saying that we're a piece of a whole. Don't get it fucked up. Nobody's bigger than God. It's just the same way that a piece of water is like I'm the ocean, because it is. It's just, it's a part of the ocean. You're a part of the divine creator. The, oh nah, he created me and not you. Look at your complexion. You're not part of the creator. Like, that's the retarded conversations that take place that you can't even entertain or, give any energy to, because what you give energy to is going to grow and live. That's the world that we live in. So why would I spend hours on the internet, you know, reminding you about your problems or reminding you about some shit you're not necessarily prepared to change or reminding you about somebody else's ill fortune? Nigga, if you got basic cable, you hear about that before I come online. I got better things to do with my time. You know, we have better things to do with our time. So we're gonna talk about your greatness. We're gonna talk about the great things that are happening. We're gonna talk about the fact that you know that we have people ascending. We have ascended masters amongst us in the forms of a Dr. Sabi, in the forms of a Nipsey Hussle, or Mayas Ashkedan, in so many ways. You understand? In so many ways. You know. And we got living great people amongst us. They don't have to be ancestors. We got great people living amongst us. Shit. Don't wait for them to die for you niggas to get excited that you know them, or that you know about them, or that you want to support them, or that when they doing something you want to pull up and you want to make sure that you experience them. Like, I don't know if people realize that we're not in the age of information, because people be like, oh, I've heard it all, it's all right, I'll catch it on YouTube. Nigga, what? This is the age of experience, not the age of information. This is not about information anymore. This is about experience. You understand? This is the age of experience. So it's about having an experience. If this is what you want to have, then you go ahead and have it by any means. That's the age that we're in. You know what I'm saying? People got all the information that they need. Niggas got the cheat code. Don't think that this shit has not been figured out. Please do not think. Don't be so naive that this whole thing has not been figured out by millions of people in real time. And there's a group of us that need to figure out more than what we have already figured out. I'm not gonna talk down. I'm not gonna say, oh, but you niggas don't figure it. No, I'm not gonna do that because I'm talking to myself at the same time. We all playing, Usain Bolt on a catch up when he let these niggas get a little too far ahead of him because he was playing around, goofing and shit, taking selfies. So we got to get on this marathon. We got to get on this highway, this information highway, this experience highway, this global highway. You know what I mean? We got to get on we just got to get on our A game. You know, I need y'all once again to, be on your A game and make sure y'all send Empress B 444 some love on her Cash App. We get on this Bitcoin highway. We get on this cryptocurrency. I got 3 emails, 3 separate emails from brothers and sisters who saw the crypto pop up in LA. They put their money into crypto that weekend, and then Bitcoin magically started shooting up. I got 3 different emails. You know, we like I said, we're working religiously overtime. You understand? Because it's so much to be done. You know, shit is hitting differently these days. So the times that a lot of us have prepared for is amongst us. You know what I'm talking about? Like, we in high demand. Like, this information, this it's a lot of demand out here. It's a lot of people waking up. A whole lot of people. The streets is waking up. The hood is waking up. People with resources and they got answers. They waking up. Don't ever get it fucked up. And if you're in denial of it, I don't judge you. You're not exposed to it because it's not for your exposure. Like I said, private affairs for private people who are private entities. Remember, your corporations are private. You should be wanting to operate in the private, in the unseen, on the low. All businesses, you think Apple is out there in the public? Do they share their ideas about their iPhone in the public? Or do they pop up at a keynote event with a turtleneck on, my nigga? You know what I'm talking about? Prior to that, they're in research and development in the private. They're in the unseen. You can't cook in the public, my nigga, unless this is motherfucking hibachi grills. Unless you in Benihana's. Everybody don't cook in the public, you know. Even in the kitchen, it's private. When the Wiz is in the kitchen, you can't go in there. But I'm cooking in the private. You know, the same for YouTube. But just know that there's some cooking taking place. Like I said, lecture season has begun. We got information, and we're gonna share it. We're gonna get it out there to as many people possible. You know, I want to continue to do this, where we do these lecture series through the live stream, and then we also campaign and hit these different states. Houston, we're gonna be doing a pop up with Pop Darby. We're gonna be doing Entrepreneurs Facts 2020 pop up in Houston, and alongside the lecture that we'll be doing on Sunday with Professor Griff, June the 9th, Sunday, June the 9th, Houston, Texas, Shape Center, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. June the 9th, Houston, for all of my Texas. I don't care where you from in Texas. Little Nas X, he's coming on his horse. You could come on yours. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? Like, come down Old Town Road and pull up. We gonna be at the Shape Center, Houston, Texas. Houston, you know what I mean? No, Houston, there's a problem. Houston, there's an answer. Fear of a Black Planet 2, Media Manipulation of a Melanated Mind, Red and Blue Pill, Professor Griff, June the 9th. And on June the 7th, We're gonna have a pop-up shop with Pop Darby, Red and Blue Pill, and special guests. So talk black to me. All of my Texas family. If y'all got the time, book you a room, get you an Airbnb, or pull up into somebody's crib, some family member, and come spend a weekend with us. We also gonna be at the ISS clothing. It's a clothing trade show for all of the family that wants to get down with the clothing business. Uh, Link up with me. You know what I mean? We could pull up to this place together. You might have to pay to get in there. I was able to register months ago, but let's go as a force. Like I said, the power in buying is in the collective. We have to work together. Stop working against each other. You know what I mean? Like, I promise you. Niggas gotta make this shit easier. Cause it don't gotta be, the struggle don't have to be what it is. When people understand the power is in the people, it's in the numbers. You know what I'm talking about? It's in the collective. And you can't come up with problems when you moving as an organized collective. You eat the problems. You understand? You eat them up. So that's what we doing. We eating them up. All right. So link up with us on the live streams so we could help you with your perception about the deception that they're calling reality. This is not what they're. This ain't that. Yo, we getting shot down and all of that. Nobody loves us. Oh man, we're in danger. Oh man, the white man could kill us when he wants to. Like, this ain't that. No offense to anybody that's operating on that perceptive level and they feel the need to share that with the world. But this is not that. You know what I'm talking about? We're not coming on that frequency. We're not coming on that frequency. You know, we're not doing Chicken Little. American gods. You understand? American gods. We the gods. We hip hop. You understand? We the gods. Like, yeah. We are our ancestors returned in this time space continuum. And it's collectives. It's not one God, it's collectives. The same way that the TV show is showing you, it is a collective of gods. That is a fact. Everybody is back. So be prepared to get the science behind the title American Gods, Prelude to Blueprint 322.2. Go to the Eventbrite, put americangods.eventbrite.com, American Gods with an S, .eventbrite.com. Go to my Instagram page for the flyer for the June 9th event at the Shape Center with Professor Griff. We're going to have an Eventbrite for that. By time, well, all of the links will be in the description box. You'll be able to click on the links in the description box and it will help you with the tickets. So just go to the, on all of these videos, make sure you always click on the links because they always have roadways and avenues to, to satisfy your requests and your needs. What up, Rhode Island? We could get into so much, but it's late. You know what I'm saying? It's Thursday. Y'all niggas got work, and I'm not gonna do that to everybody. You know, we'll do some earlier shows, but you know, it's you be surprised. You know, if I had a private live stream to show you every day how busy this is, you would see that this right here is squeezing a lot. But yeah, we working. We definitely working. Like I said, go to Kings County to see the vets. Go to Kings County, that big cartel, to see the vets. On Mama, we bodied that. Like that's a body bag. We bodied it so hard that they all sold out. I really wanted to show y'all, but we're gonna have some for The Dance Africa, which is in Brooklyn, will be in Brooklyn. Red Pill and Blue Pill will be out there this weekend, Memorial Weekend. Dance Africa will be on Fulton Street side, right there at the Fulton Flea Market, set up. Kings County, Seventh Heaven, Cosmic Kale will be in the building. Kings County Clothier will be in the building. We're going to have that on black. We'll have the bulletproof vest in the building. Twin, the album, will be in the building. All of the new designs for Kings County and the t-shirts will be in the building. Yeah, and a whole lot of other stuff. So come to Brooklyn Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Fellas, if you're looking for a goddess, goddesses, if you're looking for a god, this is the place to be. If you're looking for somebody that you haven't seen in a long time, these are the places to come to, because this is where the family comes to. This is how we charge each other up to begin the summer. So, am I coming to a Dune Day? Yeah, I'm working on that. I'm coming to Black and Nobel to teach, though. Register if you're creative or an investor. Yeah, we're going to have some more options on our Facts 2020 page, um, so people could compartmentalize themselves better if they're investors, if they're creatives. The 30-day challenge is this, y'all. Thank you for asking that. The 30-day challenge is this. I started a 30-day challenge yesterday. I got back in the gym. Um, 30 days from now is going to be the beginning of summer, right? In 30 days, the beginning of summer is going to find us. So my thing is, you know, it's time to hit the gym. You know, it's time to hit the gym. It's time to get that. You know, I don't have a pot belly, but I'm trying to, you see that? I gotta get the, I gotta get the 6-pack. You know what I mean? I got like a 3-pack and shit. So we're gonna be going over some regimens. We're gonna be doing a little more videos from the gym and whatnot. I'm doing it 30 days straight. You know what I'm saying? Today I'm doing calisthenics, push-ups, dips, some pull-ups right in the house. You know, I didn't hit the gym. I'm in the house, but every day I'm putting in that work. Plant-based diets, plant-based proteins, peanut punch shakes, you know, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So in 30 days, I'm gonna be able to peel up out of my shirt, and hit y'all with that, with solar activation. Hashtag solar activation. We want to go in for these 30 days. So by the time the summer equinox hits us, we're solarly activated. Our breathing is together. Our backs are, strong. You know what I'm saying? And physically, our muscles are just tight. And then we got the Leroy glow. So that's the 30-day challenge. If you're ready to go on the challenge, we're gonna have a WhatsApp group. Hit me on a DM of my Instagram, EL_PHILTHMOOR. All right, make sure y'all sign up to this page, subscribe to this page. Hit me up on the gram, and I'll sign you up to the group, and we'll be able to do this thing together. And I'm looking for um, people who have regiments, instructors, trainers. Hit me up, because at the end of the 30 days, of course, content is king. So we're going to capture the content. We're going to do something monumental with the content. So for my videographers and my creatives, along with those who are in the fitness field, hit me up. All right. And look out for that Kings County fitness clothing line that's going to be accompanying the 30-day challenge. We're going to be introducing and rolling out the fitness line, KNGZKNTY, which is fire. 4-4. All right. Shout out to the blue pillar with that 4-4. All right. Yeah. But y'all really need to be in Houston, because that's going to be lit. GRIFF is going to bring it. And you already know, with all of the shit that's been going on in the news, we're going to eat them up. We got a full plate. So once again, rising power to my bro, one of my fellow vendors on 125th Street, Mike, Fat Mike. Not to confuse them with the other mics. There's like 3 mics on 25th. This brother was a rather, you know, obese. That, you know, that would be the right term. You know, he used to sell comic book T-shirts, Marvel. He had the Black Panther. I was supposed to get. I actually was supposed to get a Black Panther shirt from the brother a few months ago, and I didn't get it from him. I told him I'll be back, and there ain't no. There is no back. There is no back. You know what I'm talking about? I'll never see that brother again. You know, I'll never see him. And that shit is hard, yo. Like, I understand the concept of what death is, and, you know, the fact that it's transformation, and the fact that, you know, it's not the end all be all, but, you know, it's a hard pill to swallow. That brother had a good life, you know. He's a good brother, and he had some good weed, too. I bought some from him a few times. I supported him. You know what I'm talking about? So we're going to go pay homage on Tuesday to the brother. Then right before that, my African brother, Bam, on 116th, one of my former barbers, who's a person who went into business with me in 2009 with the Michael Jackson shirts. Bam, he was like the mayor of 116th. You know what I'm saying? He made transition in Africa in a car accident in Mali, I believe. That was one of the coolest Africans I've ever known. The brother Bam. He's a Scorpio. That shit fucked me up. But like I said, this retrograde right here, this Pluto retrograde, this Saturn retrograde, if anybody knows any Africans in Harlem or in New York, ask them who is Bam, and they're gonna tell you who Bam is. I don't gotta tell you who. They'll tell you who Bam is. Big. Bam is a big name. Big Monting. Big Monting. He made transition the other day. And now the brother on 25th made transition the other day. I'm everywhere I go, I'm hearing about people leaving and tapping out, and the gates is open. Saturn and Pluto is teamed up. They catching plays. So I say this, and I say this with all love and sincerity. If I can't leave you with anything, I'm going to leave you with this. You know, navigate through the 33rd parallel, the 44th parallel. Some people hear that rhyme and don't understand what the parallels are. Go and Google 43rd parallel. Go and Google 33rd parallel. Go and Google 32nd parallel. You'll understand that the Earth has what is known as energy grids and ley lines. And these parallels go through all of the countries that, you know what I mean, that you probably never been to or probably always wanted to go to. You know what I'm saying? So there's something called a law of correspondence, right? There's things that are going on the other side of the world that are almost similar and reflective of what's going on this side of the world. Then when you do the further research, you see that certain countries or certain states are connected by the parallel. Go and look up 44th parallel. Go and look at 33rd parallel. There's shit that goes through Turkey, Egypt, Spain, Portugal, New Orleans, Kentucky, Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like that. It'd be like that. You know? Let me see. Let's see if the computer is. I'm gonna see something for y'all real quick. Let me go to Google. 33rd parallel. I'm gonna read you what the 33rd parallel consists of. This shit is gonna, and this is what I say. This is why I tell people. They be like, yo, Red, y'all be moving around a lot. Like, nigga, I'm moving through the parallels like a carousel. What are you talking about? I'm following the energy. What do you mean? Nigga, I'm frustrated because I need a visa to go to certain places that complete the cipher. I'm on my parallel. Check this out. This is a Google search that anybody could do. This ain't relegated to, oh, that's deep. No, nigga, you could just find this with Siri. 33rd parallel north, right? The 33rd parallel is a circle of latitude that is 33 degrees north of the Earth's equatorial plane. It crosses North Africa, Asia, the Pacific Ocean, North America, and the Atlantic Ocean. In Iraq, the parallel defined the limit of the southern no-fly zone from the 4th of September 1996 to the 30th of August 2003 as part of Operation Southern Watch. In the United States, it approximately forms the border between Arkansas in the north and Louisiana in the south. The Louisiana Territory was that part of the 1803 Louisiana Purchase which lay north of the 33rd parallel. The parallel is part of the horse latitudes. Okay? I'm going to start at the prime meridian and I'm going to head eastwards, all right? And I'm going to give you all of the countries that the parallel, the 33rd parallel, is touching, okay? It goes through, it runs through. This is for the Moors. Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, the Mediterranean Sea, Israel, Golan Heights, Syria, Jordan, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, China, Tibet, Sichuan, Qinghai, Gansu, and a whole bunch of other countries that I can't pronounce. Japan, United States, California. United States, California, passing through Solano Beach. Arizona, passing through Casa Grande. Texas, passing through Dallas-Fort Worth. Louisiana, passing south of the border with Arkansas. Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Kakalaka, passing through Goose Creek. Oh, wait, there's more. Portugal, Atlantic Ocean, Morocco, and Algeria. Where's my Moors at? Islam. Give me a bomb. That's the 33rd parallel where the 33rd Masons have declared war and are rupturing all of humanity and this quote-unquote New World Order. Did I not just lay it out for you? Algeria, which is the Barbary Empire, which is the Barbary Coast, which is where they went to war. America went to war with them. The first war that they went to war, the naval war was called the Barbary Wars 1, 2, and 3. That sets off America in 1805. When we talk about white slavery, when we talk about the fact that you can't call us a slave because we're not Slavs, and the original Slavs like Vlad, like DJ Vlad, you understand? These Slavs were the slaves of the Barbary powers, and the Barbary powers were in the same places that Hannibal was reigning supreme. It's called the Barbary Coast, right? That's the same place where they're selling black people as slaves right now. They were selling white people or Europeans or what they call Slavs back then. That's a fact. This is called the Barbary Coast, and those were the Barbary powers by way of the Ottoman Empire. So after the Ottoman Empire falls after World War One, they go after all of the territories and all of the different places that the Ottoman Empire reigned supreme prior to its falling. Henceforth, you get World War Two. But why are they still on the same 33rd parallel through all of their theater? Talk black to me. Look, Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya. That's that's Benghazi. You understand? That's Gaddafi. That's the Barbary Coast. That's the slavery. That's the Mediterranean. That's all of the Africans crossing right now with the organ harvesting. Bro, that's active slavery. That's chattel slavery in North Africa by way of what they was showing us with those people that they were the Africans who they were trafficking. The same way that they trafficking them through Mexico, right? Then I just gave you one clip. Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Gaddafi, Ottomans, Barbary, pirates. You understand? Anything pirate related. Pirate Bay, cyber pirates, the pirates in Somalia, the pirates in the Caribbean, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Pirates out of Pittsburgh, nigga. I know pirates that ain't not from Pittsburgh, nigga. Yeah, all that. Yeah, Pirate Bay, nigga. All that. That's all a epic story of the Barbary powers. I'm talking about this is one of the greatest stories never told, right? Then the Mediterranean Sea. The Mediterranean Sea is in play because this is where that's where our people are crossing over to escape or to get away or to basically, you know, do what they've done before, and that's going to Europe. Then we have Israel, right? So on this chessboard that we have out here, this chessboard of this theater, one of the biggest players on this chessboard is none other than, right? The big bad, you know, the 800-pound atom bomb in a room, which is Israel, right? Placed on a 35th, on a 33rd parallel. The coordinates are 33rd 0 north, 35 5 east. Okay? And then Golan Heights, territory controlled by Israel and claimed by Syria. So this is global politics. This is biblical narrative. This is global this is the apex of global war right now as we speaking to this day, right at this moment, right? Then the 33rd is on a buffer zone. Then the 33rd is on Syria, which is in all kind of all right, all kind of biblical law. And remember, we're talking about, I'm not a Bible toter, right? I'm a decoder. And what I know, beyond a reasonable doubt, is that the people that are in power are actively fulfilling biblical prophecy by way of the fact that they are adherents to religions. Okay? This is what I know. This is something that I don't have to read nobody's book. It's something that's easily seen that they are, with the power that they have, with the influence that they have, with the collective agreements that they are, or that they're having at G20s and all of these other places, they are affecting, or they are fulfilling biblical narrative, prophecy, and all of these other things in search of their, either their Christ or their antichrist. Or it's the ancestors, and it was written, and it's not them. It's just the way that the shit is written, and it's not giving anybody power. It's just saying that nothing is, things are happening the way that they were, designed. But definitely they're doing it in private. Definitely. So this information that I'm giving you right now, let me see if we could go on the screen. This information that I'm giving you right now, right? This information is some basic information, but this information gives you a perspective, right? It changes, it helps your perspective of what you're perceiving, you understand, and what you're believing. You're perceiving some shit and you're believing in it, but you don't understand the extent of what it is that you perceive. You hear about these characters, you hear about these places. Look, Syria, Jordan, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan. Let's just finish it off. India, Syria. This is where the 33rd runs through. Syria, Jordan, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and China. Now, if that's not everything that you see in the news every other day, not just to, not to simplify it to just that uh, you know, term, but you have to ask yourself, cosmic or conspiracy? What is it? Is it ordained? Is this cosmic or is this conspiracy? Is this chance? Is this chance? Or is this some shit that people are doing in their Masonic lodges or in their secret societies or in their governmental organizations? These are fronts for ritualistic, occultic organizations and things of that nature. You know, also in the American Gods, we're going to break down the meme that I had on my Instagram to show how slavery was a ritual. Slavery was a spell. Slavery was a demonic ritual that took place. All of the facets of slavery, from taking your culture, from taking the drums, from changing your names, from lynching the body, chopping it up, and things of that nature, putting the phallus in a jar, uh, cutting the body into 14 pieces, cutting the body into many, many different pieces and cannibalizing it, all kind of things. We're going to show and prove in American Gods what that is. We're going to show you that. We're going to break that down. So make sure you get that live stream. That's AmericanGods.eventbrite.com, and the link is in the description box. That's for June 2nd on a Sunday. There's no more Game of Thrones. Let this be the series finale, okay? American Gods. This is the beginning of the new season. You see that show Watchmen? Watch out for that. So then we have in the United States, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. So just know that the law of correspondence, and then we finish it off with Portugal, Morocco, and Algeria. So just know that the law of correspondence that I was speaking of earlier is in full effect, just in the fact that I'm breaking this down and showing you that these different places are connected. Somebody said all death rows. These are all death rows. Cause look, in Japan, Nagasaki is is right here. They got Nagasaki, yeah. They got Nagadori. They got Saga Prefecture, yeah. But they got Nagasaki. So certain things that happen in Alabama have an effect on certain things that are happening in Israel, have effect on certain things that are happening in, all the way in in Syria, you know. As you can see, there's people that are active all up and down this parallel. They're at war all up and down the whole parallel. They're at war with almost everybody. Look, America is at war. Algeria, Tunisia, Libya. They was at war with them. They're with Israel going to war. Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan. They be beefing with China. They want some smoke. They got a trade war with China, trying to take away the bread. They bombed the hell out of Japan. They decimated Japan. Okay. Portugal, because of the crown and all of the things dealing with, the popes of Rome. There's no smoke. Morocco, Algeria, yeah, they were disrupting elections and stuff like that. And Morocco, you see what's going on with that's interesting because you see the Moors being influenced by Morocco, which is on the 33rd parallel. But on the law of correspondence, it's showing you that even over here, you know, that Morocco influence, that Morocco frequency is resonating all the way on the 33rd, all the way in America. Oh yeah, I've always said trade wars lead to military wars. I was explaining that months ago when it started. I said, "Oh nah, y'all don't understand what this is. If they start a trade war with China, that's the prelude to a real war." You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to explain to people that war starts on an intellectual. It's between ideas and concepts. It's intellectual in some degree. So if you don't know what part you play in said, conflict, then what are you even playing the game for? You know what I mean? You running around talking about, when they give me the call, man, I'ma strap my boots up. I promise. I'ma ride for the cause. It's like, no, nigga. Like, there's a spiritual war taking place right now. There's an intellectual, nigga. There's a cultural war in full swing. What are you waiting? You waiting for some tanks? You know, there's a lot of work to be put in at the moment on mad different levels. But go and do some research on these parallels so you know what so you could look deeper into what's being shown to you. You feel me? You know. But that's not private because that's in the rhyme, that's in Bill Bixby. When I said I move around the 33rd parallel, I move around the 33rd parallels like the Coney Island carousels. Who saw American Gods when they got on the carousel and it went around and they went into a whole nother dimension? On Mama and Cambada's My Witness, we recorded Bill Bixby way before the premiere of American Gods. So that lyric was already there. The whole carousel thing, move around, going through the parallels. And then they popped up and do that. So when I seen that, I was like, yeah, that's the ancestors talking black to me. Y'all gotta have conversations with the ancestors through phenomena and through the arts and through the sciences. That's how your ancestors talk black to you because you have to know when you're still holding them up by doing what you do. You know, like my grandfather was a musician, so when I do music, I'm paying homage to his spirit and to his deity. I'm feeding him. You feel me? And I'm letting him know that I'm a continuation of you. I can't do what you did. I gotta do what I gotta do me, but I'm doing you by doing me. And that's how you edify your ancestors and continue their works and perfect them. When you give birth to your child and you say your child's gonna be greater than you, well, that's the same way that your ancestors see it. They see it as that too. Because like I said, you live in a jewel laden, nigga. You're living in the same pool of resources and bags that Scrooge McDuck was diving in, nigga. You live in that pool. We all live in that pool right now. You feel me? And niggas is opting to be pool cleaners. We all live in that pool right now. That's facts. I wouldn't tell you no different if the playing field was not leveled out, nigga. I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't put my word on that. I wouldn't put that on my shoulders. Matter of fact, I ran across some shit the other day. Come to find out, I've been saying this shit for about 10 years plus. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I know what I'm talking about. You know, before Doctor Strange was playing with his fingers, opening up portals, nigga, we was doing that. You know what I'm talking about? Before Jay-Z was twisting his hair, you know, talking about equity and stuff like that. We was telling the people that. Even before, even when Nip came with the conversation about smart crypto, I promise you, the Facts Initiative, when it was released, that was the blueprint. And to hear that brother and to see that brother and to see the other people were having the same conversations, that's poetic justice. That's poetic justice. So imagine living in the middle, living in your lecture, you know what I mean? Imagine living in your mind. Imagine living in a reality that you sat in classrooms and this reality was spoken of. And now you live in it. And you see the potential and you see the power and you see the possibility. And you know what I mean? And you see you know, and then at the same time you don't see it, because I promise you it's shit that I don't see. I'm the fish that's in the bowl swimming and I can't see myself swimming. It's certain people are like, yo, Red, you should see how people, I don't see that. You know, it's certain things that I'm not even allowed to see, because you gotta keep you have to focus on certain, it's almost like driving. You gotta focus on the road. You gotta keep it moving. If you sit around and spend time looking, that's not focus. So that's what I'm gonna leave y'all with. You know what I'm talking about? Like I said, Brooklyn, pull up. It's gonna be a ton of merchandise out there. We're gonna be on Fulton Street Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for the Dance Africa Brooklyn Academy of Music Festival. And if anybody is from any parts of the East Coast, you know that's the place to be. You know that they out there. Talk black to me. And then the next weekend is online. It's going to be American Gods. Is a lecture, but you have to buy your ticket in order to receive the link. This is not going to be on YouTube. This is not a YouTube lecture. This is a paid lecture. This is a live stream presentation. So go to AmericanGods.eventbrite. It's an Eventbrite event, okay? And purchase your ticket, and you'll be in the building. I look forward to seeing you. And then for the family in Texas, who I've been promising that we were going to come out there and do something historic, we're coming to make history with Professor Griff at the Shape Center. all right, which is a historical venue in Houston. Will be at the Shape Center Sunday, June 9th, from the hours of 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we're going to be doing our lecture series entitled Fear of a Black Planet 2, the media manipulation of melanated minds. You know what I'm talking about? And you're in for a treat. Anybody who's been to any one of those installations will tell you that the information was all the way upstairs. So that's the schedule right now. Like I said, we've started up a whole new lecture season. We're gonna be going very hard with our presentations. You'll be hearing about them during the announcements, even in commercials when we start editing, throwing the commercials in. But for right now, like I said, the links is in the box. So love and light, like I said, condolences to the family of Empress B444. Send her love and light, send her flowers, send her hearts, send her energy. Her cash app is Empress B444 on Cash App, okay?